TIE Fighter. What did you think of BSF last weekend?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Oh, so you were playing then?
Nah, I didn't play it either.
What the heck? You're the premium guy.
Look, I was busy, okay? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to I'm Sorry, I guess. So, this past weekend was the premium Bushiroad SpringFest online, which, for all intents and purposes is really cool. I don't want the fact that I'm kind of being like flippant about it to be taken as much more other than a joke, because I think what they did is actually really, really cool, and I honestly can't commend them enough for it. I just didn't watch mainly because I forgot it was happening. And the other thing is like, I just didn't feel like testing for this format. Now, I feel like it's so tired to complain about this format right now. And the thing is I'm tired of complaining about it. The thing is there's going to be a ban list. There's no way there isn't. Blah, blah, blah. It's coming. And so part of me is just kind of like waiting to see what they decide to do. When it came to this one, I just didn't feel like testing. I just didn't have too many people around me that play premium that I could have tested with, especially since Overdress was coming out. The Overdress hype was like through the roof. Granted, I probably should have started testing a few weeks ago, but hindsight's 2020. I could have just, jumped in and played Nue Dio. I could have played Fenrir. I could have played, I don't know, some other broken deck. I have them. The last thing I wanted to do was sign up and spend however many hours playing Nue Dio, especially after commentating this for Vision the week before. To be honest with you, I kind of regret my decision, but I'll get into that later. First, let's just, talk about the results, right? I'm pretty sure it's all old news at this point because I'm very slow at getting videos done and edited. And the results, what do you want from me? It was exactly what I was expecting. We had Nue Dio win 2 of the regions and then Blade Master come through and win the other. I pretty much expected to see Nue Dio, Blade Master, Fenrir, Gasteel, and maybe a showing from like Luard or Grand Blue or Pale Moon even. The only things that really surprised me were seeing things like Messiah and Hanzo. And I think that just kind of comes along with the idea of we had the decks that looped and then we had the decks that could interrupt the loops. I don't think it's any accident that things like Grand Blue and Pale Moon and especially Blade Master top, because they have access to hand traps that will allow them to pop the opponent's board. Should probably include Fenrir too. Fenrir also has a really neat hand trap. And then you had the decks that just tried to kill ASAP, and I assume that's probably what the philosophy was behind seeing Hanzo. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised I didn't see any Anger Blader there. I feel like that's kind of like the go-to kill before your opponent can do anything deck. I guess Overlord was kind of a surprise too, in a way. It's a strong deck. It's shown itself to be strong multiple times in the past. Just haven't seen it for a while, so seeing it is kind of cool, I guess. At least it's not Nue Dio. And that was kind of my thinking too, especially, and I felt somewhat justified when I saw the results, because I'm so bored of Nue Dio. I'm so bored of Fenrir. I'm so bored of Gasteel. I can't blame people for playing these decks. These are like the strongest decks in the format. It was really cool to see Commander Jaime get second, but then I saw he was playing Fenrir and I was kind of like, congratulations, by the way, Jaime. I don't want to discredit you because you were playing Fenrir. I'm just bored of Fenrir personally. I'm bored of seeing it all the time. And then Sonico TCG came in first and I was like, wow, congratulations, that's so that's so cool. And then I saw she was playing Nue Dio, and again, I don't want to discredit you. I'm just so bored of seeing Nue Dio all the time. Don't let that discredit these tops. Congratulations, sincerely. I was really happy for you. Really cool to see content creators in the community, put in the work and have it show. But now, as I'm sure is to be expected, everybody is now talking about ban lists and what they need to hit and what's going to happen. Not surprising, especially now that we've had a big official event have some results, and I'm pretty sure everybody's already gone through and talking about what they think. I know Solomon and Kai did, and probably several others at this point on whatever form of social media you choose. And I hear you, man. I've been talking about ban lists ad nauseum, whether it's my previous 2 videos talking about should Vanguard be banning more cards and the current state of premium. I've talked about it at length on my streams, and a few weeks ago I even did a guest spot on the Nexus at Night podcast where we talked about this very subject, proposing just whatever kind of crazy ban list we wanted. My ban list was super heavy in that list, but I also tried to make a point of this is what I think needs to be banned, and this is just like my personal bias of just things I don't like. I'll link the podcast below, and I'll also probably drop my sample ban list in the comments. I'd say it's probably closer to Kai's ban list. It was a little heavy, I would say. After all the lists I've seen, I think I have to agree with Solemn's list the most. And if for some reason you haven't seen that video talking about it, watch it. Why are you here? It's not nearly quite as heavy-handed. I feel like it does a good job of hitting the things that need to be hit the most. And it's a format I would be more than willing to play. And if any other issues pop up, well, they can just be dealt with in due time, right? Honestly, the only things in addition to those I would like to see is maybe the Murakumo Infinite Loop hit. I know that the Murakumo Infinite Loop right now isn't necessarily that great. Probably not going to be meta defining in any way, at least not anytime soon, I hope. Probably just going to be a rogue deck that can pop up and steal wins here and there. I just don't want infinite loops in my game. Anything infinite that you can't do anything about, which I guess some decks can do something about Murakumo's Infinite Loop in some situations, but I don't know, not every deck has that capability, so I would just like to see it hit preemptively just so I don't have to deal with infinite loops in my game. But I think as long as we hit the most toxic, unfun, uninteractive decks, the decks that just sit there and say, I get to play the game and you don't, and even then they barely get to play the game because you only get a few turns. Like, as long as we get those out of the way, I see Premium just being in a fantastic position going forward, especially with all of the reveals they're showing off for the Revival Selection coming out. I think come later this year, after we've had a ban list and Revival Selection comes out, Premium is not only going to be in hopefully the best spot it's been in a while, but it's also going to be in the most accessible spot it's been in since, like, I don't know, the format started. So if you are interested in the premium format and you want to get into it, but you don't know where to start, there's Solemn's article on Zero Damage Gaming. Great resource to start. I also did a couple of videos of my own talking about just G-Zone staples for each of the clans. So maybe you'll find that useful as well. And the thing is that going forward, a lot of the things that are useful, or at least the most important useful things, look like they're going to be reprinted in this Revival Selection, so it's a great time to jump into the format. Now, as a last little bit, I just kind of want to talk about why I regret kind of having that flippant attitude about SpringFest, and I kind of wish I would have played, mainly because, of course, after the event, I've been tinkering around with Victor with some of the overdress cards and some new kind of strategies that I hadn't thought of or thought to try out yet from other people I've seen posting their lists online. And holy crap, is it not only so much fun, but I'm just doing crazy things that I feel like would have been really fun to have taken to SpringFest. But I don't know, I didn't have much of a desire to test much of anything anyways. I didn't feel like adapting my decks to this format. Is that lazy? Yeah, but I think it was also ultimately better for my sanity. But that doesn't stop me from kind of wishing that, you know, I would have put in the work and found a way to take my favorite clan to an event and have a really good time with it. So if this isn't going up super late, you might have time to still sign up for D Standard or V Premium SpringFest this weekend. And if you can, I would strongly suggest you do it. Even if you don't do well, it seems like they're doing such a great job providing a well-run online tournament that I'm just super grateful for. And like I said, I'm kind of sorry I didn't take part in it sooner. I'm just continuously so happy with everything that I've been seeing this game do since January, and I feel like I only have evidence that this is going to continue to be the case. So I really want to make sure that credit goes where it's due. And lastly, I kind of want to just if you haven't seen it, I want to shout out what the WCC gang did. They talked about in a video kind of going over SpringFest how they had a group voice call on Discord that they could pop in and out of in between rounds. And the way they talked about it and described it as kind of like being with your friends at a regional, I think that's a great idea, and I am probably going to steal that myself, and I would wholeheartedly encourage you to do the same, because I think this is just a great opportunity to replicate the regional experience as much as we possibly can as we go through, hopefully, the end of these weird times. And then you can just have a great time, especially if you are the type of person who has wanted to go to these events in the past, but maybe the travel has been the restricting factor for you. So now is a better time than ever to be able to do this. And yeah, I hope you, if you can, I hope you jump in there. I hope you have a great time. If you haven't signed up already, and you still can when this video is live, go for it. And if you're already signed up, I wish you the best. Good luck. And yeah, till next time.